Irashaimase. Hello and welcome to Fataris' Kitchen. I'm your host, Chef Fataris. It's time once again for Shoot 'em Up Saturday, and on the menu this week we have GanaBlade, retro-styled action. What kind of taste will it have? Let's get cooking and find out. From developer Liao Kai, GanaBlade released to the PC via Steam in August of 2023. This is a title that's been recommended to me a few times, and I'm really happy I took the chance to look at the game, as it definitely would have been a contender for one of the best shoot-'em-ups of 2023. Basically, it's a great retro pixel art styled game with some really nice modern systems. You have a good weapon skill shot system going on there, as well as an awesome upgrade shot and excellent bullet hell styled bosses. And on top of that, the price point is great, so this is a solid recommend from the chef. Definitely pick this one up. It also plays alright on the Steam Deck. There are a couple control issues getting things set up, and it's not really possible to play it two-player, but setting those things aside, this system also, or rather this game also plays great on the Steam Deck. With all that said, let's dive into the game and you can see if it's something you're interested in yourself. Finding ourselves at the main menu, so we do have the option to go and play single player or two player, and that is simultaneous, but with some control setups here, we'll be showing the game off single player. If you're looking for some of the extra features, there is a music player as well as a CG viewer under the options screen, so that's where you'll find those. We do also have the ability to change the stage here, and one thing that's really neat is this game has had 2 DLC stages added to it since release, one releasing in January and the other in February. With all that said, starting the game, we're taken to our player select. So you can change the difficulty in options, but you also have the ability to change it here on the fly. That is a nice touch. Initially, you'll have the choice of Type A, the Gana, and Type B, the Blade. There is also a Type C that I have not unlocked at this point, so keep in mind there's just a little bit extra to keep on aiming for in this title. I do want to show off both ships, so we'll start off with Type A. Starting the game, we have this map here, so before the DLC you would just go through 5 stages, but with the DLC added, there's actually the option for some split routes going on, so that's really awesome. So this is a vertical scroller with kind of a like late 8-bit, maybe early 16-bit kind of aesthetic to it, and I feel the graphics come off really well. We have one primary shot button, and then we also have our weapon skill, and the weapon skill itself is kind of what defines a lot of the game itself. That will be dependent on which weapons we have equipped, and there are a total of 3 weapons. When you see the weapon pick up, it'll cycle from 1, which is the red, 2, the blue, and 3, the green. So for the Type A ship, the one that we're using right now, well, okay, now we just switched over to shot 1. You can see like your shot, the skill will use your options, and if you like use your skill button with this Type 1, for example, it gives the shot a superpower, but we're burning some meter that you can see there in the bottom left of the screen. In addition to the power for our skill, there's also right above that you can see which weapon you currently have equipped, number 1, and its level. So its level is initially set to 1, and we have the ability to upgrade it to 2 at this point. Once you finish the first stage, we'll be taken to a shop, and at that shop, we'll be able to upgrade the weapon level in addition to several other elements of our ship. In addition to the weapon level, we could also buy additional skill power. We can buy more HP. We can power up our bombs. So with that, let's actually talk briefly about the life system that GanaBlade uses. So initially we have 3 points of HP, but in addition to that, the game generously provides us with an auto bomb. So if you get hit initially, you'll use the auto bomb, and then if you take damage while that's recharging, that's when you'll start to lose life. When you lose life, a couple things happen. You'll lose any or one option per a hit that you currently have. So if you had 2 options, you take a hit, you'll be down to 1. Another hit will reduce you to no options. In addition to that, you'll also lose some of the coins that we've been collecting. So now let's talk a little bit about the power-up system. So, or no, sorry, not the power-up system, the scoring system. So throughout the course of the stage, as we're defeating enemies, we've been collecting gold. There's also another way to collect gold as well, and the Type 2 shot for the Gana is a great way to show this off. The Type 2 shot here fires forward one of the options in a slow, wavy pattern with an aura around it that deals quite a bit of damage. So any shot that that particular option impacts will go and generate gold, as well as defeating enemies. And sometimes as well, when we defeat some enemies, all the shots that are on the screen will also change to gold. That gold acts in 2 ways. It allows us to purchase upgrades in this shop here, and it also acts as our score multiplier. The more gold we have, the higher the score we obtain. So from here, with 700 gold, there's a couple things I want to do. I would most want to add additional HP just to have a buffer for health. And then with 200 remaining, honestly, the best option I can think here would be to add another level to our weapon. So as the weapons level up, they definitely get stronger, so that's something that you want to do as early as possible. Moving on to our second stage, we're now at the green planet. But let's switch over to the Type B so you can see a little bit of how the other ship plays. So the Type A is ultimately the stronger ship, but a lot of its options are really direct in terms of firepower. If you're looking for more of a spread setup, then going with Type B is what you want. So this is our shot 1 with Type B. Shot 2 is kind of a more direct laser, and shot 3 is actually a homing shot. For both the Type A and the Type B though, my favorite weapons to use are actually the 2 for sure, and a lot of it has to do with the way that the options work. So with just one option, we're not gonna be able to show that off as well with the Type B, but as soon as we get a second one, I'll show why this one's my favorite. Well, accidentally upgraded to the homing shot. It's very effective, but of course, as is typical with a homing shot, it is a little bit weaker. So upgrading your weapon level is going to help quite a bit with your weaker weapons, making them viable. So with this one, when we use our skill, it increases our firepower for a brief period of time. One of the benefits of also using your weapon skill, or rather one of the things you do need to use your weapon skill on, is there's these hidden lucky cats throughout the course of the stage, and the number does vary stage to stage. So what you would get in the stage you see those lucky cats, if you use your skill, then that lucky cat you can pick up that lucky cat for bonus points, and there's also extra scoring involved in that at the end of the game. One thing that is nice about the mini bosses in the game is they do drop health, giving you the chance to pick up some life if you've lost some over the course of a run. So the bomb for the Type B is actually pretty awesome. Type A's is a very localized explosion that's powerful, but you might miss some of the enemies on the stage. So the Type B's is weaker overall, however, it does hit the entire screen, so there's that to its advantage. So when we finally have Type 2, we can show off what the Type 2 skill looks like. So it's a really awesome and useful skill that basically sets your options in a barrier that move forward ahead of you, and they'll both deal damage to enemies as well as block enemy shots. So as we continue through the game, you can definitely see more of just that great pixel art with this like worm and these like nodes that it's dropping off. We do have to be careful though, as this is an area if you like don't get behind those, or you don't have like the homing shot, it can be like a pretty difficult to take those out, and you easily take damage. At any rate, that is GanaBlade served up for your enjoyment. So as far as the minus flavors are concerned, I don't really have a whole lot to say like negative about this game. If anything, the only real frustrations I've had is like some of the control setup stemming from me playing this on the Steam Deck and trying to get two-player up and running. But aside from like that, in a lot of ways, this has just been like an excellent shoot 'em up that's like great to pick up and play. And the knowing that there's like still active support and like additional content that's already recently come out for it, and just the great price point that this game has, it's just such an easy recommend. So as far as the plus flavors are concerned, I love that you do have a couple fighter choices, and those choices are different and unique. The pixel art in this game is great. It definitely kind of like hits that aesthetic of late 8-bit, early 16-bit like type gameplay. But especially if you ramp up the difficulty settings, you definitely get some like serious bullet hell action going on here. And some of the stages and some of the boss patterns can get quite challenging even on normal difficulty, which is the difficulty that we're playing on right now. And lastly, you've just got all these like excellent like systems that are added in there. You've got like the way that you get gold using your skills, the shop itself. This is definitely like one that's an easy recommend. And with that, that just about wraps up this week's episode of Shoot 'em Up Saturday. As always, I want to thank you so much for joining us this week. I hope you have a wonderful week yourself, and we look forward to seeing you again next time.